Hello class. This video is going to focus on 1.4, which is a distributive property. The goal of the video is I can use the distributive property to simplify expressions. And you want to open your textbook to page 43, which is where you will begin taking notes. Okay, in this video, we're going to do some examples of the distributive property and combining like terms. So on page 43, we start off with combining like terms. So if you remember from the last video, a like term is going to be anything that has the same variable with the same exponent. So in number 48, we have 6x squared plus 14x minus 9x. Now, x squared is not the same as x. So we have two terms. We have two terms that have an x, which means we can combine those terms. But we cannot combine it with the 6x squared. Okay, so we're going to bring down the 6x squared, and then we're going to do 14x minus 9x, and that is going to give me 5. 14 minus 9 is 5, and then x comes down next to it. Do not drop your x. That x will always still be there. Okay, so my simplified answer is going to be 6x squared plus 5x. Okay, in 49, we have 17g plus g. So anytime there's a variable with no number in front, put a 1. Sometimes it makes things easier to see that 1. And then these both have a g, so that means we can add them together. So 17g plus 1g, we're going to do 17 plus 1, which is 18, and then we're going to keep the g. So the simplified answer is 18g. Okay, number 51, we've got 7a squared minus 2a squared. And again, they both have an a squared, so both of these are like terms. So that means we can take the coefficient, which is the number in front, and subtract. So 7 minus 2 is going to give me 5, and then the a squared stays. Okay, so that is my simplified answer. And then 53, we've got 3q squared plus q minus q squared. So let's start off by putting a 1 in front of q and a 1 in front of minus 2q squared. And then we need to identify our like terms. So we have a q squared here, and we have a q squared here. So we can get those together. So we're going to do 3q squared minus 1q squared. And that is going to give me 2q squared. And then plus 1q. You could also just say that is q. So that is my simplified answer. Okay, so now we're going to combining like terms with distributing. So here's the deal. We have number 57, we have 3x plus 7 times the quantity 3x plus 4. Now, when I distribute, I am only distributing the number that is attached to the parentheses. So that is this 7. The 7 is attached to the parentheses, so that is what's going to get distributed. And it only gets distributed inside the parentheses. So we're going to do 7 times 3x, and then 7 times 4. Okay, so then the 3x that's out in front, that's just going to come down. We haven't done anything with that yet. And then we're going to do 7 times 3x, so plus 7 times 3x, and then plus 7 times 4. And again, you can use a calculator to do some of this arithmetic. Okay, so now we're going to simplify it. So we've got 3x, 7 plus 3x, or 7 times 3x is going to give me 21x. And then 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, so now we need to look at our variables and see if we have any like terms. So we've got a 3x and a 21x, and they both have an x, so we can add those together. 28 has no variable, so it does not get added together with it. So 3x plus 21 x is 3 plus 21, that's 24. And then we keep the x, and then this plus 28 just comes down. And that is my simplified answer. Okay, 58. So again, we have to distribute first. So we're going to take the number that's directly attached to the parentheses. So that's the 4. And we're going to distribute inside the parentheses, not outside, just inside. So 4 times FG, and then 4 times 3G, and then this plus 5G will just come down. So 4 times FG is 4FG, and then plus 4 times 3G is 12G, and then plus 5G. Okay, so if we look at our variables, we've got an FG, we've got a G, and a G. So those G's can get added together, but the FG cannot because the other ones don't have F's with it. Okay, so the 4FG comes down, and then we're going to add 12G plus 5G. 12 plus 5 is 17, and then G comes down with it. And that is our simplified answer. Okay, number 7, we are still on, 60, we are still on page 43. So this time we are going to distribute the 2, and we're going to distribute it to 6x and 4. So that means we're going to do 2 times 6x, that is 12x, and then 2 times 4 is 8, and then this plus 7x just comes down. We don't distribute to it because it's not inside the parentheses. Okay, then we want to combine our like terms. So we've got 12x and 7x that are like terms. So we're going to add those together. So 12 plus 7 is 19x. And then the plus 8 comes down. Okay, number 65. So now we have 2 sets of parentheses, which means we had to distribute twice. So we're going to distribute 7 to the first set of parentheses. So 7 times 2x times 7 times y. And then we're going to distribute 6 to the second. So 6 times x and 6 times 5y. Okay, so we're going to do 7 times 2x, which is 14x. 7 times y is plus 7y. And then we have 6 times x, which is plus 6x. And then 6 times 5y is plus 30y. Okay, so now we have 2 sets of like terms actually. So we're going to combine our x's together, and then we will combine our y's together. Let me do that in a different color. So then we have our y's that go together. Okay, so let's start with our x's. So 14x plus 6x, that is 20x. And then plus, and then we're going to do our y's. So for our y's, we've got 7y plus 30y, which is 37y. So our simplified answer is 20x plus 37y. Okay, that is the end of 1.4c. Remember, you must get a 75 or above on your video quiz in order to move on from the video.